I keep on hitting the stop record button and not the stop stream button, not the stop record button. I really should put them farther apart, not right next to each other. I'm such an idiot. Okay, give me one moment as I fix the thumbnail in YouTube. I am such an idiot. And something I noticed is just, well, my heater's still on. Let me turn that off so I don't have to worry about a fan going on in the background. One moment. There we go. Now there should be less background noise.
At your command.
And there's no music playing at the moment, so I just need to restart the replay. I tried to only record when there's background music because it does make a difference. Because the music's awesome in this game, it does help out with the tone. Huh. I must have selected a different replay beforehand. Oh well. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Dawn of War 2 replay. So on the left side as the blue Farseer, we have Sosthenes. So on the right side as the Lord Inquisitor, we have Half Pan. I just realized something. This is stripped straight from the campaign, isn't it? The Dawn of War 1, not Dawn of War 2 non-expansion campaign. Very nice. Donde eres pa? Brazil. I guess they're not speaking Spanish. Oh, one's from Brazil, one's from Bolivia. Brazil's primary language is Portuguese. What's Bolivia? Is that Spanish or Portuguese? So we got a fight from South America. Wherever that is in space. We do got Imperial Guardsman, does spot the Sentinel. The Sentinel does not have the Stomp upgrade just yet, nor is it being upgraded at the moment. The Imperial Guardsmen do force back the Guardians. Down south, the Lord Commissar does get forced back by the Howling Banshees. Apparently having a bunch of angry ladies shouting in your face, it's not the most pleasant of times. Are they all named Karen? Either way, we do have the Northern VP now being captured on up.
We will stand against any enemy.
As this point is going to be captured by the Sentinel. On the left side, Imperial Guardsmen have been reinforced. Other Imperial Guardsmen down south, supporting the Farseer and the Howling Banshees, or even more south. Not Imperial Guardsmen. Guardians are pushing their way forward in heavy cover. They do lose a model to the Sentinel. And he's going to repair up the Sentinel while in combat. Sergeant upgrade being researched in this squad. This squad already has a Sergeant upgrade as well. I just realized something. They have the skin that's the desert, like, skin. So that's a perfect skin for this map. The Lord Commissar does get a nice stun there on the Howling Banshees. Sentinel's charging on its way forward. Does have the Stomp upgrade. The Howling Banshees will get the power generator. And now he should be able to stomp it, no problem there. Yeah, get some nice knockback there. Imperial Guardsmen are going to be focusing on the Howling Banshees. They're a much more squishier target, which is a good target. Focus fire by them. Down south, we've got the Sentinel. I need to capture these points. Lord Inquisitor has captured the power point as well.
As ever, we
This one has an upgrade of the battle equipment, increasing the health and damage. Was it by 10%? 33%. Maximum health by 33% and gives them access to the shields. So no damage, just unless you count the plasma grenade.
Reinforcements are most welcome.
Both these Imperial Guardsmen pushing forward together. They will find the Howling Banshees. Howling Banshees can engage one, but not two at a time. He's charging forward now, has been upgraded to Aspect of Fleetness. And does get a nice shot off there. Does do a stomp there, knocking back a good chunk of those Howling Banshees, but also knocks back some of his own Imperial Guardsmen. Imperial Guardsmen are charging to melee against the Howling Banshees. Howling Banshees are actually severely wounded at this moment in time. Farseer does get a nice special attack there, knocking the group back. And we'll say the Howling Banshees. The Howling Banshees still have 3 mauls remaining, so there's not a whole lot of bleed there. This Imperial Guardsman, however, is getting quite wounded. The Farseer is now receiving some fire, and does receive a nice stun there. This Imperial Guardsman is severely wounded, but still has 6 members. Farseer will go down to the Lord Inquisitor. Now we've got an artillery spotter being pulled out, which would be a good item against the Guardian Weapon team. Calling in a mortar strike now onto the onto the Guardian squad, which also knocks back the Guardian's weapon team, and a smoke round, reducing the max range of the weapons team as well.
There is the victory objective.
Guardians have captured the northern flank. We do have the power point captured on up. All generators here, and we do not have this generator rebuilt yet. Guardians do get a little bit exposed thanks to that Sentinel. They do go on the wrong side of heavy cover there, and so the Imperial Guardsmen should be able to deal with them no problem. Thank you for the follow, Cringe Name 1. Guardian Squad may get wiped out here. The Sentinel is in pursuit now. 3 health, 1 health remaining. And the Guardian Squad does go down. In the middle, we do have, or down south, we do have the generator, extra generator that spawned up down the bottom. We will be destroyed. Guardian Squad team is set up in a defensive position, though really in a poor angle. Starting to reposition now. We do have a Imperial Guardsman and the Lord of Inquisitor switching the way forward. Generator being rebuilt over there. Does get a stun shot there. The artillery spotter is pushed way forward down south and perhaps ready to fall in mortar on top of the heavy weapons team, the Guardian weapons team. Does get a knockback there and throws on some smoke onto the Guardian weapons team as well. Looks like the smoke reduced, the range is reduced before the smoke actually lands on the ground, which is interesting to note. Perhaps maybe they need to adjust that so there's a little bit more of a delay, or the smoke come down sooner. Or cast sooner. Some of the options there. Artillery spotter will need to fall back and decide to fall back with all of his forces. Lord Inquisitor has not been upgraded, and the Farseer has been upgraded to Armor Fortune, which allows them to buff up a single unit with the increased damage resistance.
The foe seeks to deprive us of a vital resource point.
The she-warriors grow in number. Speak, and our group will obey.
And we do have a Chimera now being deployed, and now eyeing for some mechanized play.
We have succeeded in our objective.
Tier 2 is being researched by the Sorcerers, not Sorcerer, the Farseer now, which could potentially get him a Bright Lance if needed. The Heavy Weapons team hasn't really been all that useful. The Artillery Spotter has been doing a good job of neutralizing as a threat.
Seizing this
Chimera is starting to make its advance. We do have some repairs out onto the Sentinel as well. And nice and napalm run. forcing back those forces. No model drops, but still, the great use of all the support abilities is preventing those weapon teams from doing any sort of work. Did burn his Sentinel up a little bit there, however. Howling Banshees is ripping apart one of the generators now. And now we have the Chimera starting to make his advance with the support of the guard squads. Nothing a whole lot on down south. With his 5 squads versus just 3, the Farseer is lacking a lot of firepower. Perhaps maybe the Farseer is eyeing for some Warp Spiders, saving up for some. Or maybe for a Wraith Lord. Likely for a Wraith Lord. Over here, the Howling Banshees managed to get some full gen bashing there. That's a big oversight. He will be able to escape on out of there with the Howling Banshees as well. May drop a model, but that's about it. Even then, it's still not likely dropping him a single model. Guardians are now charged, sprinting on forward, trying to capture up some territory.
Location spotted. Send for the Warlock to lead our Guardians.
And now we have a Warlock being upgraded on the Guardsman, and we do have a Wraith Guard. Ooh, Wraith Guard. Wraith Guard are an AoE weapon. But I'm not so sure how the Elite mod actually balances them out a little bit. Because last time I checked, yeah, they are just classified as Melta, not AoE Melta. Gain some great damage there. Frag missiles coming on out by the Sentinel as well. So it's going to be some good gen bashing here. It does fall back. Those forward models there getting ripped apart. Wraith Guard making advance. Does have the Warlock now here to support, which increases some movement speed. And getting some great damage there onto the Chimera. They can't move and shoot, but they're getting close to range. Getting some great damage there onto the Guardsmen. It looks like they still have AoE effect, that's for sure. And there goes the Chimera. Holy crap. Annihilating all these forces. He is not retreated back from this just yet. He's going to sustain a bit more damage. He does lose one of the Wraith Guard models now, but he had sustained a lot of damage from the Wraith Guard. The Wraith Guard are now even at level 2 in the first engagement. They're not too far back, so after decapturing this point, or deactivating this point, the Wraith Guard should decide to fall back to get reinforced and rehealed. More frag missiles raining on in. The Farseer will be capturing the point. They are going to call them a Mortar Strike on top of them. Blizzard doesn't have the damage upgrades on the artillery spoiler just yet. Behind just for a disruption unit there, and nothing else. Wraith Guard now fully reinforced, almost fully healed. Over here, Imperial Guardsmen have been reinforced and pushing out. They are upgraded plasma guns as well. No plasma grenade there by the Guardian squad. It seems like a pretty good time to throw a good plasma grenade there. We have a crossbow pistol, bolt pistol. The crossbow bolt pistol grants crippling bullet, which immobilizes enemies. That includes Terminators. I'm highly assuming that includes Wraith Guard.
One of our structures is under attack.
The time for speed has passed.
We have come to a desperate pass.
Guardsmen do not receive a frag grenade just yet. We got the crossbow bolt pistol right there, and setting lots of fire there. Oof. Make it fully wiped there. Frag missiles raining on in, so it's 40 health remaining, but looks like he will retreat on back. I was unable to get any additional melee hits.
We do what we must.
The bolt pistol's not very good against the power node itself, and we've got Ogryn now being deployed. Maybe a good idea to tie up the Wraith Guard in melee, because I'm not going to win at range. Getting ripped apart and suppressed as well. Crack missiles being thrown on out. I'm not so sure how effective crack missiles are. Are Wraith Guard classified as infantry or heavy infantry or vehicles? I'm honestly not exactly sure. Stormtroopers were spotted there, and they do immediately fall back, not being upgraded of anything at the moment. But the camouflage there will somehow still camouflage in the retreat.
Our mission above all.
Artillery spotted now pushes way forward, which could knock around the Wraith Guard, or at least reduce the range with the smoke rounds.
Send forth a warlock to lead our guard.
Ogryn start to make their way forward. The Guardians Weapon Team will be very useful against the Ogryn. Guardians Weapon Team. Luke gets suppressions off there. Now the Wraith Guard should be able to engage no problem. The Farseer crashes go on in as well. Farseer has been upgraded the Gravity Blade, which can grant levitation ability, which is a slow stun around the Farseers herself. And there it is, sending all those forces, and now allowing the Wraith Guard to get some good AoE damage in. Or to start sieging down the power generators once again, which he has been doing a great job with that as well. But he does knock back the Ogryn pretty close to the Guardian Weapon Team. The Guardian Weapon Team will need to fall back relatively soon. We've got that Webway Gate going down. This northern point is captured up, and the Webway Gate is still up as well. All generators will go down there for the Imperial Guardsmen. And the Farseers at tier 3, and did lose Guardian's Weapon Team to the Ogryn. Ogryn now getting ripped apart there. With the Wraith Guard on retreat path, he may get a squad wipe. Ogryn down to the last 19 health. No, he targets the wrong thing. One melee hit there, and that was enough to take out the Ogryn. A little bit too close, I would say.
So they resist us.
Artillery spotted do get inside the building. It would be great to call artillery from the building. Stormtroopers currently not upgraded. And Taliban just gained some great damage onto those Stormtroopers. The Stormtroopers are about ready to get fully wiped as well, but no, falls back in time. Falls back before taking out, but the Wraith Guard here don't capture the point. Take up the Stormtrooper. Does not take up the Stormtrooper. Farseers engaging the Imperial Guardsmen with flamers in the center of the map, but you got the crossbow. Nope, that's a stun shot there by the Lord Inquisitor. And here comes some Guardians to come to support the Farseer. Inside to start capturing all these points. The Lord Inquisitor is still firing away with her bolt pistol. It is a ranged firepower weapon, so I'm not so sure how effective the bolt pistol is actually at range damage. Doesn't seem all too impressive. Does spot the Webway Gate, needs to load up some cracked missiles in order to really engage it successfully. There we go. Though something may pop out of it still.
The enemy has destroyed one of our structures.
The Webway Gate does go down. The Farseer is saving up quite a bit of resources. Likely going to be an Avatar of War.
We are losing a victory objective.
And here comes the Avatar of War. Tier 3 being researched by the Lord Inquisitor. She does have enough to get out a Cadian Carson squad, but maybe a good idea to go for Stormtrooper with melta guns against the Avatar of War. Oh, the artillery spotter went down at one point in time. It is a pretty squishy squad, and the garrison's actually fully destroyed. It may have been went down with the garrison itself, maybe to the Wraith Guard.
The foe seeks to deprive us of a vital resource point.
The tickets are heavily in favor towards the Lord Inquisitor. Webway Gate is still not spotted, so he will be able to reutilize it. And we got hotshot, overcharged hotshot las guns with frag grenades. The Sentinel has taken quite a bit of fire there, may receive some Wraith Guard hits there. And we do have a bunker now deployed on out. Interesting. The Avatar War, however, will make its appearance here and could use the big explosion ability. Getting inside that bunker is a horrendous idea. There goes that Imperial Guardsman. Oof. That was nasty. But that was entirely his own fault. The Lord Inquisitor still has one Imperial Guardsman, so she still has extra repairs. But right now, she needs a Lehman Russ with Vanquisher turret. Crack missiles on the Southern Raynon in, but the Sentinel will likely go down, and he's going to use one of the abilities right here, perhaps the big AoE around himself, but this is just straight up. He has nothing against the Avatar War. And here comes another big AoE ability. Responding pretty late to that. Minor damage. This one's being upgraded in melted guns. He's just going to charge. He's just going to take out the Avatar War. Avatar War could still potentially escape on out of here. Melted bomb does connect. And the hotshot las guns, overcharged hotshot las guns, trying to tie up the Avatar War melee, but she is pretty successful. And the Avatar War does go down, largely was a sacrificial lamb. The Wraith Guard, however, are still a massive threat to his opponent.
We have come to a desperate pass.
And Sentinel does go down to the Howling Bank, so it's never repaired. He still has one Guardsman for repairs itself. Looks like the artillery spotter may get wiped if they get focused down a little bit too hard. They got the levitation field there, stalling up the melted guns. Frag grenade was largely a whiff, and the Howling Bench is going to be taking on these stormtroopers quite successfully. And the stormtroopers may themselves go down right here. The Transcentric guns are trying to engage and does force back the Howling Benches, saving that stormtrooper. Another Avatar War is not being deployed on out, and the amount of red points he has, he can bring in his own nuke, which are pretty effective versus Imperial Guardsmen. Wraith Guard going to get some great AoE damage there. Holy crap. Down to 4 models with 100 HP left. Stormtroopers camouflaging the way forward.
The enemy has 200 points remaining.
And it's just triple capture against the Imperial Guardsmen will rapidly turn the pace of the game around. When it comes to VPs at least. Trying to capture 2 VPs at the moment. He needs resources as well. He needs a bit of everything. Something was called in right there? Howling Banshees now shouting at the melted guns. On the right side, we got the Wraith Guard now turning on forward. They're fully vetted as well. Napalm Run comes on out, but the Imperial Guardsmen have already get wiped. Note, the Imperial Guardsmen will escape on out there with the Sergeant and Commissar intact.
This Inquisitor has teeth.
And the Guardian Squad is falling back. He's getting some great damage there onto the Lord Inquisitor. And next Avatar War is charging forward. He needs some melted guns in the region. He's also really out of resources as well, so he's unlikely able to push any farther. Great damage onto the Imperial Guardsmen once again. And here comes the Avatar War. I'm going straight for the Bastion. Or, yeah, the Call Bastion. Just had to make sure. And there's the explosion ability. A little bit too early. Could have waited for the retreating squad to arrive. He is captured the northern point. The southern middle point is captured the Farseer as well. He is starting to hit the Imperial Guardsman as well. Getting some good damage there. Crossbow bolt does snare the Howling Banshees. Getting more and more damage there, and deciding to use the cone ability against the Stormtroopers. He does dodge in time. And the Avatar Wars is going to be another sacrificial lamb, which he has the resources for it. He actually has enough resources for another enough energy anyways. Not necessarily enough requisition for another Avatar War, but pretty close to it. He's getting some great damage there, but the next Avatar War does go down.
Adding support structure.
Power points even being activated right there. One of the Stormtroopers actually, does actually went down. He lost the melter guns to, I think, maybe the Howling Banshees.
Our kin watch from above.
Support
The
structure.
triple capture will rapidly go against the Imperial Guardsman, and annihilates his own Howling Banshees with the Wraith Guard.
Caution has its place as well. Thunderstorm.
Guardians here are behind the heavy cover there, and his double capture still against his opponent. He can cost an Eldritch Storm whenever he so chooses. And here comes... No, that's actually not the Eldritch Storm. That is the Ruin Armor. And that's apparently pretty effective versus Imperial Guardsmen. Wraith Guard are going to just look and... Oh, completely whiffed there. I thought they were going to get wiped there. 5 health, 4 health, 3 health, 2 health, 1 health. The Sergeant, all that remains. The Sergeant will not escape out of there. The Stormtroopers are... Fresh Stormtrooper has captured the northern point. The Imperial Guardsman's down to 8 tickets, but likely most of the levitation ability soon. With and the southern point is has been captured up by the Stormtroopers. The Eldari player has plenty of tickets remaining. Stormtroopers will be wiped out at the current rate. Yep. Both sets of Stormtroopers are now gone. Or nope, this one will escape out of there, but he just decides to cast in GG. And a third Avatar War is actually being deployed.
We have prevailed.
And it looks like the Imperial Guard's Lord Inquisitor has surrendered. This is Andrew Grade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. And this time I hit the right end record button. Let's go with a Tyranid versus some either Grey Knight or Space Marines. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Dawn of War 2 replay. I spawn on the top left side as the Daemon Hunter with Anter.
Strategic points.
Is the music playing? Yep, the music's playing. And spawn on the bottom right side as the Hive Tired, we have Arthur Cloud. I like to have music playing because it does help out with the replay and the cast. but instead of the slow, creepy music, usually on the abandoned Dreadnought. Not Dreadnought. Space Hulk.
That's a strategic point for us, sir.
Adding support structure.
The Golden Horde is starting to make its way forward. Daemon Hunter and the Hive Tyrant starting to make their acquaintance. We do have 2 Termagon opener for the Hive Tyrant versus the Ordo Malice's Corsair Stormtrooper and Strike Squad. Has not gone up any of the other squads at the moment. Likely we'll see perhaps some energy.
We have the target ahead.
Support structure complete.
Daemon Hunter is trying to run away from the Hive Tyrant. We've got Inquisitor Stormtroopers now coming in to support the Daemon Hunter. Termagant's on the eye to engage the Stormtroopers. And Daemon Hunter will charge on forward on Termagant's, trying to hit the more squishy squad line. The Inquisitor Stormtroopers get some good more damage onto the Hive Tyrant. Second squad of Termagants have been pointed out. They will need a Toxin Sack upgrade to fire snares against the Daemon Hunter. The Daemon Hunter has received quite a bit of fire, so has the Hive Tyrant, but the Daemon Hunter has retreated first. So there's 3 squads here versus just the 2 squads, and it does make some bit of sense. We do have the Strike Squad capture the southern flank as a Percutation Squad, an AoE squad now making its deployment.
Now we've got a chance.
You have the sergeant upgrade for the Inquisitorial Stormtrooper, now have access to a variety of grenades. Percutation Squad does force back these squads without firing a single burst of flames. Now we have some Warrior Brood deployed on now, which should be very effective versus the Percutation Squad. We may see the Barbed Strangler upgrade because see the anti-vehicle upgrade. The Warrior Brood is a relatively adaptable heavy infantry squad. Percutation Squad pushes way forward, engaging the Synapse Generators. These forces need to start pushing way forward, but we do have a Hive Tyrant upgrade of the extended compare pace. And we got the Hormagaunts getting slowed down by... Where is the Daemon Hunter? Wow! Holy crap, that is really far away. That seems a little bit too far away, honestly. The Synapse Generators do go down. The point was not fully deactivated, and I don't think Tyranids have a way to repair it. I honestly don't know if Tyranids have any sort of repairability whatsoever.
The tide of battle turns toward the righteous.
Inquisitorial operatives now being deployed on out. Both sides pulling out 4 Tier 1 units. We do have the Barbed Strangler upgrade. That is an AoE suppression weapon. A ranged AoE suppression weapon, I should say. Both the Termagants are going to be hit. Got the Strike Squad now making advance. We got the Barbed Strangler upgrade now firing against the Strike Squad, suppressing him, and the Daemon Hunter.
The Tyranid infestation has reached one of our strategic points.
Some of the natural geysers are being trampled now as the Inquisitor Stormtroopers and Perpetrator Squad now making their advance. We got the Daemon Hunter's suppression ability there. Barbed Strangler may fire, but we've got the Hive Tyrant's charge ability. He has been upgraded with another melee weapon as well. The Rending Talons upgrades their Hive Tyrant with Rending Talons, improve melee weapon effectiveness against infantry. Also got the Seismic Roar ability. Send a compare case which grants the charge ability, so that charge is from the armor, which is going to be very useful in order to prevent that Perpetrator Squad from firing. Warrior Brood is quite wounded. We got the Termagants in the mix as well. Strike Squad's also wounded as well. Great knockback there by his unit. And the Perpetrator Squad and the Termagants are now falling back. Got the Seismic Roar ability right there. leaving just the two heroes engaged. But the Hive Tyrant is also quite upgraded, as opposed to the Demon Hunter is not upgraded whatsoever. Third Synthesis Generator being deployed on out. We've got all three power generators here. This one is being recently deployed as well.
Generator operational. The enemy falters, but he is not yet beaten.
Hormagaunts are falling them back. Inquisitorial operatives now have the fallback plan, which gives them false retreat abilities, or stop retreat ability, I should say. And we got the next cast there by the Demon Hunter. Frag grenade was thrown. It's an Incendiary grenade. He tried to combo it well, but he just straight up retreated away from it.
Enemy unit spotted. Disgusting these things.
Does receive some suppression there. The Barb Strangler suppression is very, very good. Termagant's making their way forward, trying to get some good damage in. Got the suppression right there as well. The Hive Tyrant does charge him forward, tying up the Purgatation squad in melee. Long Termagant's engaged at range. Inquisitorial operatives have received quite a bit of fire there. Multiple grenades onto the Barb Strangler, trying to stop the suppression coming forward. And we'll get some good suppression there onto the Inquisitorial operatives. They do the retreat, but it may be a fallback plan.
Tyranid have engaged us.
Does activate the next Demon Hunter channel there as well, but the Strike Squad are receiving too much fire. They need to fall back. They do receive some suppression there, and they may get fully wiped thanks to the Hive Tyrant. Yep, the Hive Tyrant does finish off the Strike Squad entirely. Demon Hunter will force back the Hormagaunts. That is big oops. Losing the Strike Squad is a very, very valuable squad. Tier 2 being researched by the Demon Hunter, while the Hive Tyrant has gone for a Ravener Brood, increasing its damage out field control by quite a bit. Purgatation Squad and Inquisitor operatives are now all turned forward. Grenade was thrown. He does avoid it. It is a smoke grenade. Does destroy another generator there as well.
Strategic point spotted here.
Power node will likely go down. These forces are not moving to engage whatsoever. They're waiting for the Demon Hunter to push on forward, being upgraded to Force Rod now.
That's a critical spot.
Purgatation Squad's making its way forward, reducing the charge ability by the Hive Tyrant, knocking back its own Termagants as well, tying up the Purgatation Squad in melee. And it looks like we've got Barb Strangler there as well. The Force Rod does connect with the Warrior Brood. They're quite wounded. Force Rod grants the Retribution ability, which silences and damages and knocks back foes. Vindicator Assassin has been deployed enough. Vindicator Assassin does clear the squishy, but very high damage. Hive Tyrant will fall back in time, so has over 100 health remaining.
Stormtroopers reporting ready.
Hive Tyrant's now going for tier 2. He does have more energy at the moment than his opponent, but his opponent does have a bit of a higher, and not really a higher quality. The Ravener Broods are pretty effective, and they are pretty good jump infantry. Jump in quotation marks. And there's Retribution ability there. It stops the capture of that VP. And we'll spot the Vindicator Assassin needs to fall back. Revenant Brood now in melee, but does fall back in time. A Venom Brood being deployed out. It's an anti-vehicle unit, so I disagree with that. Capillary Tower being deployed out as well.
This place is infested with Tyranid. Reporting enemy contact. We could use better cover.
Here we go. Use better cover. The Hormagaunts getting pretty good hits there on the Inquisitorial Stormtroopers, while the Permutation Squad's getting some good damage in. And there's a fallback plan being activated there.
Swarm is overwhelming the victory point.
Yeah, let's get to it. Reinforcements are here. That's a critical spot, no doubt.
Looks like some Rippers have been deployed and out. They're going to be ripping apart that power node at one damage at a time. Inquisitorial operatives are capturing the VP. The VP game is heavily in favor towards the Daemon Hunter. And now we have some Hormagaunts to push his way forward, being upgraded with the Endless Swarm, which will increase its. Oh, looks like he has canceled it.
Disgusting these things.
Press on to victory.
Tier 3 being researched by the Hive Tyrant. And does stop the capture of that point. Needs to start me capturing for his own purposes. The Brutes are making their way forward. Does find the Purifier Squad, tying them up and suppressing it in melee. We do have a very, very good channel right here. He's going to be tying up the Permutation Squad up in melee now. Purifier Squad are going to close the gap, but they will likely get wiped at the current rate. And does get a Sergeant upgrade at the last possible moment, saving from losing that squad. In fact, it was like one frame before that last model went down because the Sergeant came out. Vindicator Assassin's falling back as well, getting overwhelmed by numbers. And we do have the Daemon Hunter right there in the mix as well. The Venom Brood is going around capturing points, supporting the Rippers. And that point's actually being reactivated right in front of the Venom Brood. The Tyranid players saving a lot of resources, like go for a Swarm Lord. Plenty of energy for it, so the Swarm Lord will be deployed on out. I doubt it's going to be the Zenithrope. And great. Connection lost to the servers. I hate that. That stops me from casting the replay. No, well, the replay wasn't that great anyways. Let's see, how far in was I? I really should have set my Steam to offline. I am disconnect is fine.
Strategic point spotted here.
I just fast forward to the point.
Adding support structure. Adding support structure. Support structure complete. Support structure complete.
Tyranid have engaged them.
Yeah, that game looked like it to be already over. Not really worth casting the rest of that. That Swarm Lord would just made it win. So yep. Delete that one. Could go for a 2-on-2. Yeah, I just want to make sure I remain disconnected so I don't have to worry about it disconnecting it again. But yeah, let's go to 2v2. Give me one moment to switch over my... there we go. VTuber layout. Not VTuber, OBS. And here we are. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Dawn of War 2 replay. So on the bottom side, as the Lord General, we have KBLX Wingman TTV as his teammate. As the Force Commander, we have Bebop. As the biggest and the strongest mech boy, we have Rich Piano. Spawning as the biggest and the strongest war boss, we have Toads Knopf. And we've got sluggers, or shooters into shooters into shooters into shooters. So a whole bunch of shooters. Over here we've got the Scout Squad into Tactical Marines. Who generally 2v2s. It seems like I see 2 Tactical Marines. And we've got Imperial Guardsmen into Sentinel into Imperial Guardsmen. These forces are starting to make their advance. They're engaging the center of the map. The War Boss is going to try and have these Imperial Guardsmen melee. Does get a nice knockback there. And gain some good damage. And we do got more Imperial Guardsmen pushing forward. They are not up at the start just yet, nor the other one. And one of the Lord General's guard bodyguards do go down. We have the Stomp upgrade there on the Sentinel. Sentinel's going to be charging forward, going for the Stomp, which does force back those squads without actually Stomp off yet. Imperial Guardsmen engaging the War Boss in melee. Does get a nice stomp off there. We do got some Tactical Marines pushing way forward, but we've got the Mech Boy and Sluggers and Shooters coming engaged as well. The War Boss getting some good damage there onto the Lord General. And the Lord General is falling his way back, getting some good damage in. Tactical Marines here, however, are still in the fight. Already took any damage in all those engagements. We got more shooters, and the Mech Boy is still around as well. Sentinel's charging forward, but severely wounded. Mech Boy does charge forward, try to body block the Sentinel, was unsuccessful. We got Imperial Guards here, repairing up the Sentinel as well. Tactical Marines are coming to support as I captured that requisition point here, as the Force Commander is making his way forward as well. The shooters are now being tied up in melee by the Force Commander. And it's Osborne to make his way forward as well. We've got some sluggers over here. Sluggers are not going to engage just yet. The War Boss is currently unupgraded, nor is the Mech Boy. Force Commander does have the Artificer armor, giving just health, and regen, just basic combat armor, and no upgrades there on the Lord General either. The War Boss is starting to engage the Imperial Guardsmen up in melee, and gets a great stomp there. Stormboy is now turning forward, trying to jump on top of the Tactical Marines, and Cashin Devils are being deployed on out by the Lord General. The second Tactical Marine squad has been deployed on out by the Force Commander as well. And that jump was largely not very useful. Could potentially see a knockback there. The jump also doesn't give the Stormboys knockback resistance. He has some good damage there onto the Tactical Marine squad. We do also have the War Boss getting a nice little stomp there as the Lord General and Imperial Guards are trying to support these forces. One of the Tactical Marine squads are falling back, severely wounded, but it looks like he will not go down. Stormboys are falling back as well. So is the War Boss. Over here we do got some explosions here. I'm not sure from what. Maybe a frag grenade or something.
Scouts ready.
The Space Marines force pushing way forward. The Mech Boy does teleport forward, trying to capture the VP. More Imperial Guardsmen and the Cashin Devils making their advance. This would be a great opportunity for a grenade launcher barrage breaking ground here. Good barrage there. Mech Boy does teleport away. May need an eye for some health, being upgraded with the battery pack, which gives it's a medic upgrade, if I remember correctly. Sluggers receiving quite a bit of fire there. Shooters are engaging at long range. Many of them have been upgraded with the Daka upgrade. Or the big shooters upgrade, which grants the Daka is the Mech Boy upgrade. Storm Boys do jump on in, engaging the Tactical Marine in melee. While the Storm Boys do have knockback resistance after jumping, they don't have suppression resistance. Grenade launcher barrage here knocked back some of those shooters, and the War Boss is still engaged in the mix, but gets knocked back there by the Casual Devil's shotguns. War Boss is being upgraded with the pole, which then signifies that he is the boss.
Our Force Commander has reached level 2.
Force Commander's at level 2 apparently.
Make it so.
And actually there's actually engagement over here. Looks like the Sluggers managed to get in melee.
Fight on and drive the enemy back.
One generator does go down, and this one's actually being rebuilt, so Maeve actually got 2 generators there. The Sluggers actually may fully go down, get some nice melee hits there, and yeah, the Sluggers do fully go down.
Adding power generator.
So now there's no more. Well, the Mech Boy still can do repairs himself, but he's being upgraded. The battery pack is on pause because the Mech Boy himself is down, and we do also have the Pain Boy going out, which is the medic for the orcs.
Generator operational.
On the right side, you have a multi-las turret here, and these orcs do get knocked back there by a shotgun blast by the Casual Devils. The multi-las turret does not provide suppression there, which will provide some decent damage. Looks like the Mech Boy has been revived, I should say. And the Sluggers are getting some great damage there on the Pure Guards. The Pure Guards need to fall back. And here comes the Flame Reverse onto the multi-las turret there. Both of the human players have been upgraded to tier 2, as neither orc players have. Imperial Guardsmen just need to maintain their range, has to use some heavy cover here. All these forces are quite wounded, but do have a Luda squad here, which they can provide suppression. Decides to fall back pretty early, prevent the suppression, and now we do have a Warhammer upgrade there on the Force Commander. Pain Boy and Storm Boys charging, making their way forward to this generators.
The enemy is
Asking for a res. Looks like the Mech Boy went down here. He does go ahead and heal the Storm Boys there after being suppressed by the shotgun knockback here, but does run into the Tarantula sentry guns. On the right side, we got these forces captured these points. Primus Psyker has been pointed out. Looks like they have changed up the portrait a little bit. And he's now being upgraded to the Earthshaker Helm. The boss pole is inspiring these Gits to fight harder. No, and Lord Jitter has been upgraded to Flak Dragon, and that is the on me ability. No, that's the Primus Psyker Earth ability. Great knockback there by the Casual Devils here, but they do get suppressed there by the Ludas. Sluggers are charging forward in their against those Imperial Guardsmen. He does manage to escape out with the Imperial Guardsmen. Primus Psyker is still in the mix, however. Primus Psyker is falling back. The War Boss is still in the mix here, though. The Lord General needs to fall back as well. It's almost gone down.
The orcs are taking one of our strategic points.
And some boys do jump on top of the Tactical Marines, forcing them to fall back. They are upgraded plasma guns, and Scouts are fully upgraded as well. Death Dread is charging forward, trying to get some more gen bashing here. Devastator Marines being deployed on out, likely for our last cannon Devastator.
Are we to accept defeat?
And these forces are now falling back as well. We've seen quite a bit fired by the shooters. These generators are getting bashed quite a bit as well. The Knob Leader with the anti-vehicle weapon, the burners from the Death Dread. They can go down quite quickly. The Force Commander has been upgraded the Power Fist. I need to get some more vehicle melee. Soul Boys charge on in, which now has suppression there thanks to the Knob. But only the melted guns there. Last Cannon Devastator does fire a shot off there, and does get the Sable there with the Power Fist. But the Last Cannon Devastator needs to push his way forward to engage that Death Dread. Pain Boy will manage to escape on out of there, and these Tactical Marines are receiving quite a bit of fire by the Storm Boys, but the Storm Boys are forced to fall back too much firepower in their region. Mech Boy still in the mix. Mech Boy has quite a bit of health as well, but now the Force Commander will need to fall back. Does not get another stun off there. Last Cannon Devastator does find a good hit there onto the Death Dread, but he is out of range now. On the right side, we got quite a bit of fire there. There must have been a creeping barrage.
We are losing a requisition point to the enemy.
Sluggers receiving quite a bit of fire there. And now we do have a Weird Boy deployed now. And he does throw out that Zappy Orb, which is doing a bit of damage there, but not a whole lot. Not so sure what it actually does anymore. Thought it does damage, but guess not. Good damage there, but there is knockback suppression there from the Lord General. It's for the Flak Jacket, the income ability. This damage also makes him immune to knockback. Lord General Kane's receiving quite a bit of fire right there, and there's the Primus Psyker ability. Not so sure what it's called. Over here, we got a pretty sizable flank pushing its way forward. I think, not so sure what's being called on right there. More Tactical Marines. Just reinforcement drop pod. Gain some good damage there. Over here, we do have the Force Commander trying to save his last Cannon Devastator. The Death Dread still alive, but has not been repaired up. Force Commander's getting some good special attacks there as the Tactical Marine squads are now falling on back. Primus Psyker is receiving quite a bit of fire as well. The Primus Psyker does go down, and the Sluggers are being suppressed there. Ogren's now charging on forward. It looks like they've got severely spread out there. Imperial Guardsmen charging forward. The Ogren's Bow Knight Sergeant just went down. And the Ogren's about themselves started going down as well. We've got the incoming ability there, and the Ogren's do get fully wiped there. Ooh, a lot of losses there by the Imperial Guardsman, just down to his Imperial Guardsman himself. Taking some great damage there onto the Slugger. And over here we've got the shooters now making the advance. Maybe an Executioner turret. Deploy out a field gun by the Lord General and deploy out Executioner turret wouldn't be half bad. Put someone right around here to get good coverage. Maybe on the high ground as well. The War Boss has not received any more upgrades at the moment. We have for the Force Commander as well, the Sacred Standard. Grants them increases their damage and all that stuff. Nice little aura ability. Mech Boy is still down. The War Boss does manage to retreat out. And the Storm Boys are right here charging these forces. We do have a war truck now being deployed out, and the Force Commander going for tier 3. Alright, now Predator wouldn't be half bad. Terminators wouldn't be half bad either. He does manage to jump away from the Force Commander before the special attack there, as the Force Commanders receive quite a bit of fire from all the shooters. Good knockback there by the Scout Squad. No follow-up frag.
Additional units have become available, Commander.
Imperial Guardsmen pushing their way forward, getting some good damage in, but the Sluggers will force them back. You also have the Luda in the mix, as well as another multi-las turret here, which will not really accomplish all too much. Plasma guns can do some damage to the war truck, not a whole lot. War boss makes its way forward. No heavy armor, no spiky bits. More generators being smashed against the humans. They have lost a lot of generators, especially up north. Scouts going for a perhaps shotgun knockback. They do get a great knockback there, and the war boss is now fully retreating. Last Cannon Devastator trying to hit that war truck, getting hits onto the war boss, but not on the war truck. Stormboys now charging forward, does get some suppression there onto the Tactical Marines, as the Stormboys are severely wounded now. They actually will get fully wiped there. And here comes some rocks. He does fall back in time, but they're... No, not in time. Now they're getting annihilated. A Commissar just went down there as well. He still has the Sergeants. There's going to be quite a bit of reinforcement costs for that. Both of the human players are up to tier 3, and the mech boys now getting tier 3 as well. Fire grenade does get dodged there as the Force Commander is charging on forward. Tactical Marines still finding some good range damage.
Has reached level 6. Rearming.
More generators being bashed by the Death Dread. The War Boss is being upgraded the Power Claw, and we do have tier 3 Nogs. Weird Boy's still alive as well. Doesn't appear to be any upgrades at the moment.
Adding support structure.
Got it a little bit quiet at the moment as the shooters are making their advance now. Tactical Marines need to eye some of this heavy cover in the region, but gotta keep their forces spread out to prevent any sort of AoE effect. While these forces are quite condensed. Got a Lehman Russ being deployed now, and a Land Raider Redeemer. The Land Raider Redeemer is actually a pretty good option at this moment in time. There's a lot of congestion forces here, and the giant flamers will do a lot of damage. Does get that knockback there onto the Sluggers, forcing them back. The War Boss still trying to force, so has the Heavy Claw upgraded. No heavy armor either. And here comes the Executioner turret on the Lehman Russ, able to get some good AoE damage. Speaking about AoE damage, Death tries to make his way forward. Looks like we may have something here. Not sure what it is. Looks like the Mech Boys Mega Rumble with Garrett's the Earthquake ability. The Knobs, however, getting knocked around by the Earthquake. Lehman Russ is trying to retreat. The Imperial Guardsmen need to fall back as well. They're severely wounded. They may not escape on out. There's 2 models remain, so he needs 2 melee hits to wipe them out. He does not get the kill there. Lehman Russ is having trouble with these Knobs, and he is going to receive some support from his teammate. He does fall back to the Knobs entirely. And we do have the Mech Boy now repairing up the Death Dread. The Mech Boy doesn't have a lot of forces remaining, while the War Boss has a lot of force. The Land Raider Redeemer has been deployed. Keep Nas near mech. Knobs? I will buff them. There's the Lehman Russ and Land Redeemer. They have a massive amount of AoE damage now out on the field. Does garrison inside of one of his squads. And looks like these shooters will be forcing back. They try to go for more hits on the power generators, but there's no more power generators that are remaining. That may be because of them.
Ally has secured a requisition point.
Looks like the Lord General has been upgraded with melta guns, which upgrades him and his stormtrooper bodyguards with melta guns. A lot of forces pushing their way forward, but into the giant flamers of the Land Raider. He will receive a lot of AoE damage. Now it's time to make a charge. Does use the frag launcher ability. Lehman Russ is getting some good damage on the flank. We're seeing some fire from the Weird Boy. Slug's making way forward as well. We're seeing quite a bit of fire. Got the income ability being activated there as Knob Squad is trying to tie up these forces in melee, getting some good damage in the mix. Gigantic Flamers are pushing the way forward. The War Boss does go down. The Knobs are engaging. He also now using the good damage there. The War General does go down. The Imperial Guardsmen getting ripped apart by the Knobs. But the Flamers are engaging the Knobs as well. We got more Knobs going on now by the Mech Boy. Land Raider, the Force Commander is severely wounded. Needs to keep the Land Raider or resurrect the Lord General. Tactical Marines do fall back to the Land Raider.
Scouts ready.
Shooters on the high ground, falling back with the Tactical Marines to the Land Raider. Very nice. This damage on the Land Raider is not going to be very, very useful. We got some Cadian cartridge squads holding out.
The enemy is capturing one of our
Asking for a res right here. This VP is not being captured up. Looks being captured up by the scouts now.
fortifications are under assault.
And I just realized something. My voice may be a little bit too quiet. Let's just turn on the volume a little bit. There we go, that should be a little bit better. These forces starting to fall on back. We've got some Tactical Marines behind heavy cover.
Victory point secured.
And that is Imperial Guards bunker. Likely going to be a repair bunker meant for the Land Raider Redeemer, making a good hard point. He could potentially deploy a turret here as well for more firepower. Power generators now receiving quite a bit of fire. And the power generator here now getting smashed as well. A little bit late for a power generator, but the Mech Boy still actually needs more power, actually. Never mind. Imperial Guardsmen will need to fall back. And Imperial Guardsmen will likely get wiped out. They do get wiped out there. A bit of oversight there. Mech Boy does charge forward, being trying to use the Earthquake ability. Does even stun the Terminators. And now the Knobs are charging on forward, trying to gauge that Lehman Russ. He's trying to gauge the Flamers from the low ground. Lehman Russ does in fact go down. And like I have Lightning Claw upgrades there on the Terminators, which would be excellent infantry. Good frag grenade there by the Cadian Cartridge Squad. Getting some good damage onto those Knobs. Terminators are doing a good job of holding off the line as well. We've also got Tactical Marines on the low ground. We'll wipe out that Shooter Squad. Terminators do teleport away, trying to get healed and reinforcements from the Land Raider. Cadian Cartridge Squad sprinting away. And this bunker is rigged to explode. Does put the explosives in the back, catches the booby traps, and does go ahead and detonate it there. Nob Squad will get fully wiped there. The War General perhaps need an eye, just get some reinforcements, getting some long-range firepower. A heavy weapon team wouldn't be half bad if I had some suppression. Or honestly, probably Stormtroopers or Kitty Carson Squad. Looks like the Orc players think they may have lost the game.
Support structure complete.
Asking for one more push from his teammate, very understandable. He's getting out some flash kits now. The war boss could deploy out a heavy loot tank, wouldn't be half bad as well. The opponents don't really have a whole lot of anti-vehicle fire weapons, do they? Yeah, not any. Does retreat back nice and early, trying to avoid the earthquake. That power point does get decrewed. The mech boy still needs a bit more energy. Knobs being deployed now by the war boss. Flash gets, of course, an AT or Melta weapon. I'm not sure how else to describe it. They doesn't say what type of damage. Oh, psychic DPS. Costs a bucket of teeth. Must be good. Charging forward now. The knobs have been buffed up. We do got a lot of forces here. The shooter squad does fall back quite early. Got a lot of Imperial Guardsmen forces here, and they're not going to be knocked back anytime soon. Land Raiders receive a bit of fire as well, but the Imperial Guardsmen could repair them up while in combat. Yep, and the knobs just not able to push strong enough for us to stay to the Land Raider. What they needed is actually some tank busters to launch some mortar barrages. If he does miss the Land Raider, he at least will able to hit everything around them. Does take out the flash kits right there. No, the flash kits actually still have its own model that advanced escape. These knobs starting to make their way forward. And that is the sound of the Force Commander winning the game. This is Andgrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Ah, long load screen. Okay, is my game bugged out? Jeez. Okay, my game must be bugged out. Task manager, kill. Because that was loading for far too long. Here we go. And let's go and delete that replay. Let's go for another 2v2. Oh yeah, it's just the weird thing is the date and time sort of make it a bit backwards, but this should be fine. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Dawn of War 2 replay. Spawn on the bottom side as the Chaos Lord, we have Life. Spawning as the Apothecary, we have Dice Roll. Spawning as the Lictor Alpha, we have Fog, and as the Warlock, we have a foreign name. Let's see now, we've got Chaos Marines, another Heretic, pretty standard. Got the Tactical Marines here, Hormagaunts, or Termagants into Termagants, and we got Triple Guardian for the Warlock. Not going for any Howling Banshees, so let's look at the eyeing for just some standard rifle, not necessarily riflemen, but whatever the weapons are called for the Eldari. Termagants pushing the way forward, we'll find the Space Marines and the Chaos Marines. Termagants are going to be falling back very early. These Termagants are making a retreat as well. Unable to engage against multiple squads of Imperial Guards or Space Marines. All three Guardian squads make their way towards the center. We've got a Ritual here as well, which is going to allow the Chaos Lord to close the distance. Another Ritual pushes the way forward, so it's chain ritualing forward Heretics to Ritual speed run the Chaos Lord into combat. And all the Guardian squads are falling back nice and early. Look to Alphas in the Lurks flanking around, and great use of these rituals allow them to engage. Look to Alpha will be tying up one of these Chaos Marines in melee. Maybe he'll grab one of them as well. Got the Eternal War upgrade on one of the Chaos Marines, and now the Guardian Squad pushes the way forward against some good damage there on the Tactical Marines. This Heretic Squad now receives some fire from the Warlock, who's been upgraded with the Champion's Robes, and a fourth Guardian Squad has been floated out by the Eldari. The Warlock does go down to the Apothecary himself. Termagant's now charging forward. The Chaos Lord's going to try and tie up in melee. The Apothecary is receiving quite a bit of fire there by the Guardians. All four Guardians in the center of the map. No additional Tactical Marines by the Apothecary either. Apothecary does go down. Lots of firepower coming on the Chaos Lord. With this many squads, he is hard to engage a lot of firepower. Heretic Squad trying to fall back as well. They will fall back in time. So the Termagants are trying to say you're dead. Actually, the Heretic Squad does get fully wiped there. Very nice. Warrior Brood has been deployed on out. That's just a big spam of Guardians, that's for sure. He probably should not go for battle equipment upgrades unless he needs extra HP. But you got a Havoc Squad here, which will be very useful in dealing with all of these Guardians. Heretic's coming to support as well. You need to keep this Heretic around for rituals. Does have the Grenade Launcher upgrade, which will be very useful in knocking back and supporting from a range. It may be a good idea to get the Chain Axe upgrade, but even then, maybe Bloodletters with Teleport. will be more useful at that point. The Warlock has been recovered by the Lictor Alpha. The Warlock is falling back now, severely wounded. Great jump there by the Assault Marines on top of the Hormagons, or Termagants, I should say. Warrior Brood engaging the Assault Marines in melee. One of the Warrior Broods do go down, but there's still a lot of potential firepower from the 5 Guardian squads of the Warlocks. Termagants also getting engaged. Does get a pretty decent plasma grenade. Actually, that was his own plasma grenade, wasn't it? He annihilated his own force with that. Flamers on the Tactical Marines pushing the way forward. I would say that's pretty good, but there's probably just too many Guardians for him to deal with. This Guardian squad is now falling back as well. And he is getting actually combat equipment in some of these squads. Only one that doesn't have the combat equipment. He is running low on requisition, so the Guardians need to start salvaging or hunting down requisition points. I do have a webway assembly here with the support of these Termagants. Champion's Robe grants to absorb damage. Okay, that allows him to use the Energy's health ability. Also increases the Warlock's health by 150. So a very defensive Warlock, able to charge in forward and absorb shots for his Mass Guardian. Grenade Launcher Squad is falling back. No Aspiring Champion with him just yet. The Aspiring Champion, when upgrade on a Grenade Launcher Squad, does get a bolter.
Our ally soldiers died when they stand. The time for mercy is long past.
Grenades are raining on in, getting some good damage onto the shield generator, but he has some knockback grenades. Knocking back those Guardian squads, but there's still the 2 other Guardian squads. And Warlock's pushing way forward, getting some great damage from the power generator. Ritual has been activated there. Havoc is engaging as well. Another Havoc squad has been forward on out, trying to provide a lot of suppression against these forces, but the heavy cover here will give them good suppression resistance. This generator will go down. All the generators got smashed. Up north we do have just Hormagons poking on the flanks, and I've got these Tactical Marines pushing the way forward, including a Devastator. Warlock has been upgraded to Merciless Witchblade, which grants him an AoE ability around him. Guardians pushing the way forward, getting some good damage across the line. We have the Chaos Marines, of course, and the Heretics trying to engage, but with all the heavy cover in the region, they're not going to accomplish all too much. Combine Flamer has been researching how to use my Immolate ability. Good knockback there. And now the Apothecary and Assault Marines coming in for a pretty not really a sizable flank. Plasma Grenade there on the Apothecary, down half his health, but does force back all the Guardians thanks to the Assault Marines jumping on in. Looks like he did heal himself there with the Apothecary as these forces pushing the way forward. Not so sure what he's saying there. Where are the Lictor's forces? Doing gen bashing his own, so there's a lot of gen bashing going down, and there's no generators here either. The Warlock simply cannot forward it because of all of the Guardians he has. And that will give him a lot of requisition bleed. We do have a Tyrant Guard now deployed on now. Devastator pushes his way forward, will suppress down the Warrior Brood. But the Tyrant Guard should be able to charge on forward and tie up the Devastator in open melee. In the center, we do have all the Guardian squads pushing way forward. Does recover the Warlock. Does get knocked back there against Assault Marines. He does jump on top of one of the Guardians. not really focusing down the Guardian Squad. They're capturing a lot of points, so not a whole lot of damage actually coming out on the Assault Marines, but more grenades being launched by the Heretics. Because we got a sizable flank here involving the Heretics and Havoc. Warlock trying to tie up the Chaos Lord in melee, using the melee ability there, since the ability doesn't get tied up in melee. And great damage there onto the Heretic squad. Havoc is covering the retreat, getting some good AoE damage, and this flanking Havoc getting some good suppression as well. This Havoc squad will need to reposition over here relatively soon. Also, you will get overran. The Havoc squad will need to fall back down to one last model. We've got a blood pressure being poured out, which will be very effective versus the Guardians. Relatively rare asset nowadays, but it's going to be a very effective melee unit against the Guardians. They do get a pretty good sizable suppression there. We've got a Webway Gate in the mix of all of this. Tormagaunt special the way forward. We've got a Assault Marine jump there, knocking back the Tormagaunts as the Flavor Squad was receiving quite a bit of fire themselves. But the Apothecary nearby should be able to get some good health regen for the Tyrant Guard, just being a bit too problematic. At this point, the Chaos Lord needs to get the Armor and Inferno armor to get the Let the Galaxy Burn ability. Havoc has two models here. This Havoc has one model here and will get overwhelmed. And here comes the Blood Crusher. He can't get focused down by all the fire here, so it's not in a vulnerable unit. A demon, yes, but a vulnerable demon. Warrior Bird hasn't upgraded the anti-vehicle weapons. What the Tyranids need to engage that. Let's see now. We've got a second Blood Crush being poured on out. At this point, I can't say no. We've got two Tyrant Guards on the field as well. Maybe get some Vanguard veterans and Stern Guard veterans. Dreadnought has poured out and needs the Assault Cannon. He just straight up needs the Assault Cannon. Grenades raining on in.
Generation operation. Adding support structure.
And we got an auto cannon and a las cannon. The las cannon will be useful versus the Hive Tyrants. The auto cannon will be good against generally everything. And the melee ability getting some great damage there, but the Chaos Lord does go down. But here comes the Blood Crushers versus Hive Tyrants. The Warrior Brood is still in the mix, and the auto cannon, las cannon haven't been set up properly either. The rituals can give the Blood Crushers more health regen. That Blood Crusher needs to fall back relatively soon. Now the autocannon is now being deployed now. The Warrior Broods are quite low themselves. The Blood Crushers now have a bit more room. He needs a ritual for that Blood Crusher. The Blood Crusher is about ready to go down. Still no ritual there. The Blood Crusher's charging on in, but the Tyrant Guard could just turn around and engage. But he's just trying to run away, which may not be a good idea. He's charging away, it looks like. Health regen of the Blood Crusher is doing some good work there. Cavalry Tower trying to interrupt. And Blood Crusher does go down there, but he may go down in return. He's severely wounded. Vulcans sort of skirmishing around the line. Tyrant Guard is still quite wounded, still not fully dead. Blood Crusher here is a little bit wounded as well. Looks like Tyrant Guard here will manage to escape on out. Dreadnought has not been upgraded the Assault Cannon, and he does get a nice knockback there onto the Warlock, taking him out. And the Tyrant Guard does actually go down right there. Both the Havocs still alive. He still has the Heretics as well, but the Heretics are getting wiped out by the Hormagaunts, but managed to save it with the Blood Crusher. I would say the lack of a ritual from the Heretics that didn't heal up the Blood Crusher was a bit of a problem. Autocannon setting it up, so is the last cannon. The Falcon's almost down. The Falcon has not been upgraded with the shield generator, but getting mass repaired. But likely the Dreadnought and the last cannon does take it out. Dreadnought's going to be charging forward, maybe get a good smash in the group, but does not. Bright Lance also deployed in the mix. It's sort of hard to see, but it's actually getting hits there on the Chaos Lord. Chaos Lord still has half his health remaining. And the Apothecary is still here as well. It's hard to see. And the Chaos Lord does go down. Last cannon now set up a good position, and the Assault Marines do jump on in. To have a Chaos Shard not being deployed now, all players are just eyeing for tier 2. Can you global revive? Not so sure what's going on. I must have missed something. But the Chaos Lord has been respawned. We do have the Capillary Tower going on down. The Guardian Squad's taking out the generator that was put out by the Apothecary. Looks like Jane Sealer's being deployed on Alpha. To look to Alpha. It's been a while since we actually saw them look to Alpha. Both of the blue team's heroes are down. Blood Crusher has to be quite a bit of fire there. There's a Venom Brood here. The Blood Crusher does go down. Chaos Dreadnought's now making his advance, trying to get some good damage into this mix. The fight's bunched up. There's the 2 Venom Broods in that group. Assault Cannon has deployed and now by the Dreadnought. This would be a great spot for a Assault Barrage. Does get a nice Assault Barrage there onto the Tyranid forces, getting some great damage on the retreat path as well. Synapse Generator going down, so are the regular power generators. As this Termagant is capturing some more and more points. Over here we do have the Tactical Marines capturing the Central VP. All those generators will go down. Last cannon devs are capturing some points. Since there's no more Tyrant Guards, this is going to be just capturing points now. Grenades raining on in, knockback grenades. Large and miss, so does the Assault Marines. Assault Marines are now out of energy, but all those forces are now falling back. Van Bruce trying to make their advance, and the Termagants here do fall back, getting some great damage there with the Assault Barrage. Oh, Webway Gate, that's what's going on right there. He does manage to spawn out 1 squad of Guardians there. And he may get a Shotgun Blast, he may knock them back, does get a Plasma Grenade there, nuking his own squad. And the Guardian squad will likely go down. The Apothecary has been upgraded with the Anointed Power Axe, which is an energy sapper. Now Noise Marines being deployed, not likely for the Blast Master.
As ever, we serve. We trust in your guidance.
Fresh Falcon. There is a Vanguard veteran squad now out on the field. No Stern Guard veterans just yet. And the Gene Stealers do fall back. And the War Brood does fall back as well. Over here, we've got these massive forces here, including both the Venom Brood. Does just a Assault Barrage there. There's 3 Venom Broods in this region now. This one's making moving forward. Getting suppressed by the Noise Marines. The Noise Marines not being upgraded Blast Master. Chaos Warriors charging forward. There's some great shot potential here. The Venom Brood's going to be focused on the Chaos Dreadnought, and the autocannon Havoc Squad pushes the way forward. The Tyragons are trying to tie them up in melee. They are relatively successful, but they will get ripped apart by all these forces. Great knockback there by the Noise Marines, allowing the Dreadnought to advance, as well as letting the autocannon sit back up as well. Mastery coming out now by the Tyranids. Mostly the Venom Broods will escape on out of there. Capillary Tower will be going down. It's relatively hard to see that one. Something about Tier 3, you do have some Wraith Guard being deployed on out. Wraith Guard, of course, is a very good AoE support weapon. And immediately inside the Webway Gate. No Blastmaster by the Noise Marines, which would be very effective against all the Guardians, as was the Venom Brood.
Send for the Warlock to lead our Guardians.
Looks like Warlock's on the Guardians. He needs a Warlock on the Wraith Guard. His forces starting to make their advance. Quite a bit of force there. Not a whole lot of anti... Nope, there's the last cannon there. So there is an adequate amount of anti-vehicle, which that last cannon... Oh, that's not the right last cannon. No, I'm not sure what I was thinking. Soul Marines do jump on forward, knocking back some of the Guardian squads there. The Wraith Guard do fall back. Global ability being activated here. Venom Broods making a charge, getting some good damage there on the Dreadnought. Autocannon Havocs are set up as well. Not sure exactly what they're saying. Both of the Space Marines have been upgraded with Tier 3, while both the blue team has still on Tier 2, and they're pretty far away from getting Tier 3. Not a whole lot of red points here, but there is enough red points here for well, the Apothecary can blow out a nuke, while the Chaos Lord cannot. Bit of damage here, good AoE damage on those Guardian squads, and we've got something being called on there. This could be Terminators. Warlock is now falling on back. And these forces still quite grouped up, very vulnerable to an AoE. I'm guessing a Whirlwind wouldn't be half bad against these forces. Blastmaster wouldn't be half bad either, which we do not see either. 3 Venom Brood, Warrior Brood, and Gene Circles making their advance along the left flank. They will need to rotate over. Vanguard veterans coming to respond to it. And now trying to repair up the Dreadnought. There's going to be one big engagement. It's likely going to be the last engagement. Tier 3 being researched by the Tyranids. He does not have enough for a Tyranna formation. While we do have a Guardian Swept team likely meant for a Bright Lance. Another Capillary Tower. Now the Guardian Squad's pushing way forward. Another Capillary Tower is being deployed on now. Venom Broods behind to engage the Dreadnought. Getting this Assault Barrage being activated, but no, he does there's the Assault Barrage. Warrior Brood will be likely to wipe down this engagement. The Venom Broods are not being able to finish up the Dreadnought. Great knockback there by the Vanguard Barons. Guardian Squad's charging forward. But you also got Chaos Terminators now in the mix as well, trying to tie up the Wraith Guard up in melee. They do load inside the Falcon to avoid some fire. Bright Lance unable to shoot any armored targets here. Dreadnought receiving some repairs. As these Dreadnought's forces and the Chaos Terminators push their way forward, and the regular Noise Marines gain some good work in as well, which will stop them from firing from these forces as well.
Engines ready.
Apothecary is leading the advance. The Stormguard veterans need a bit more energy as well. They can perhaps get one more jump off. Won't be able to get much more than that. Apothecary's falling back, being upgraded to combat stimulant equipment. As the Guardian Squad will get some free shots there onto the Vanguard veterans. Autocannon has been deployed on up, getting some great damage there, and actually takes out that Falcon quite easily. There was no last cannon there, so that autocannon got some really good hits there. Nope, the last cannon's right there. Never mind.
An ally has gained control of the Lich Point.
Now we do have multiple shrines going up, which they do spawn bloodletters to engage the nearby advancing forces. So they are turrets, per se, loosely.
Our mission above all.
We have succeeded in our objective.
We have 200 points remaining.
They do not last very long, but they are free. Webway Gate trying to engage this force. The two shrines here can be supported by the grenade launcher squad. They do have the Spiraling Champion as well. Here comes the grenades, knockback grenades as well. Here comes the bloodletters, the free bloodletters. This shrine will be cleaned on up, but the bloodletters do exist afterwards. Both shrines have been cleaned on up, but you won't be able to capture the point. The bloodletters do their job to hold the line, but the Galaxy Burn, which is utilized from there, a close range artillery barrage ability, Armor the Inferno. And they all withdraw to the Webway Gate, and he will go ahead and destroy the Webway Gate.
We must arm for even crueler war.
The red team's just trying to hold off, don't need to advance, just try and play the waiting game. The Elected Alpha could deploy out a Swarm Lord, but maybe design for a Carnifex. The AoE Carnifex wouldn't be half bad, I would say. Terminators with a Assault Cannon make their advance with the support of the Apothecary. There is a Webway assembly over here, so it's quickly reinforcing the flank here. How many AoE weapons are in the region? Not enough red points for a nuke. Oh, that was way too early. I think he was expecting some sort of camouflage unit, but there wasn't any. What are they exactly doing? Is the Space Marine player thinking that there's a camouflage unit there? All he needs to do is bring the scout in. But the sergeant has stealth spotting. He did not need to do that. Now he's wasted most of his energy and all of his cooldowns. But since they were so timid, they did not engage. Carnifex being deployed on out. The tickets are almost even right now. Do you see more shrines going down over here? Nope.
Soldiers approach our holdings. We have 100 points remaining.
Allied units ahead.
Carnifex has been upgraded with the String of Thorn Cannon, the ranged AoE weapon,
Our allies are here.
and also which spawns Spore Mines around the Carnifex. Removes the melee resistance aura. Here comes the free Spore Mines. They do get ripped apart, but here comes the Barbed Strangle Cannon. On to the last cannon, the Terminators are tying them up in melee. That's a good time for Assault Barrage there by the Dreadnought. Tactical Marine Squad has seen quite a bit of abuse there. Does walk back into that barrage. Warrior Brutes or Venom Brutes still trying to gain some Dreadnought. Now time melee got the Purification Grenade there from the Apothecary, the Blight Grenade. These guys are going to be receiving a lot of damage over time. Vanguard Barons do charge forward. These forces do withdraw to the Webway. And these forces need to fall back to lose the Warlock that was supporting them. So they're going to sustain a lot less mobility. The Warlock does go down. The Lictor Alpha House is still alive, but he lost all of his Venom Brutes. All. And the blue team has surrendered. With the Lictor Alpha losing most of the force, there was nothing much he can do. This is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Another long loading screen. There we go. So let's go and delete this one. And I'll probably have enough time for tonight for another 2v2. I'm getting a little bit exhausted. Haven't got a whole lot of sleep lately. Let's see. Double Tyranid. This is basically a rematch between these two. Or that's 3 games with the same people over and over again. Huh. Let's go with this one. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Dawn of War 2 replay. Spawn on the south side as the Farseer. We have a foreign name. Spawn as teammate as the Tech Marine, we have another foreign name. As their opponent as the Apothecary, we have Wolf. And his teammate as the Chaos Lord, we have Vol Hero. The Farseer will spot the Scout Marines. I am not so sure what that means. They're sending the Wolf to Vol Hero. I guess he's fighting against somebody that's not exactly very well skilled, I'm assuming?
That's a good position.
The time for speed has passed.
Nah, not really. You always need speed, especially to capture up all the points.
Support structure complete.
Tactical Marines do make a soft retreat away with that nearby health regen, or from the Apothecary, they're able to get healed up without utilizing ability. We've got the Apothecaries here, and it's unable to engage. There's too many force here at the moment. The Scout Squad can come forward to support, and if the Apothecary is able to engage in melee as well, he will be able to hold off the Farseer or the Howling Banshees, whoever decides to advance. Here go, does pull on forward, maybe use a heal there on the Tactical Marines at this moment in time, though the Apothecary himself doesn't need it. Does not get, he does actually use a heal ability, he is a bit low in energy. Not so sure on who though. It may have been the Tactical Marines because they look like a full health now. Scouts are here as well, and utilizing the light cover quite efficiently. Howling Banshees making their advance as a Guardian weapons team being deployed now by the Farseer, able to engage these forces quite well with against a new, basically using numerical superior advantage or lack of advantage to engage in those engagements quite easily. Rituals being activated, allowing the Chaos Lord to move faster, and we do also have a Flamer here on this Tactical Marine squad. The Heretics are getting ripped apart by the Flamer squad. Now he's able to tie up this force in melee, but the Heretic is still quite wounded. The Heretic squad is going to be forcing back that Flamer, ripping him apart. Tactical Marines coming to support the engaged Tactical Marines. And he's forced, and the Chaos Lord is going to try to deactivate that power point, but it will take a bit of time. Down south, we do have these forces moving forward, including a Guardian Weapon Team, which of course will allow them from great coverage right here.
Generator operational.
Enable capture both those points. The Farseer can push forward and scout, or maybe use the Guardians to scout now since they both look at capturing up the VP. Over here, we've got the Eternal War upgrade on the Chaos Marines. There's a second Guardian Weapons team here as well. And this point is actually activated and will be deactivated shortly. This Heretic squad is actually not fully reinforced. It's gone for a third Heretic squad? I have no idea why he went for that. Got another Havoc. We got a Havoc squad engaged, and now they're pulling out some shield generators here, past for the Guardian Weapon Team. Guardian Weapon Team's getting some great bursts there.
Shuriken cannon team ready.
This point will go down as this wounded Heretic squad will get even more wounded. Havoc setting on up, which will suppress the Tech Marine, no problem. And the Heretic and the Chaos Lord should be able to force them back. Over here, we do got the Tactical Assault Marines push the way forward, force them back to the Guardian Squad. We've got multiple Scouts here and Tactical Marine. The Apothecary's mix does heal himself as well, and upgraded the Purification Rite gives a knockback heals. Howling Banshees are now falling back, having upgraded the fleet's aspect of strength. Telling his teammates to be careful. Got a knockback there. Getting some good damage in there. And his Tactical Marine squad is back up, saying there's 2 shurikens, basically saying don't advance there. Tactical Marines or Scout Squad is trying to make their way back. Scout Squad with shotguns, trying to get some good, could get a good knockback there onto the Heretic Squad, complete with that detonation. Heretic Squad here could get some good hits on the melee path, but likely won't get any wipes there. Tactical Marine, Tactical Marine captured the requisition point here, and this Heretic Squad is falling back. Scout Squad is falling back as well. We got another model detonation there, and Combine Flamer to boot. Looks like the Guardian Swept team will find an angle there onto the Chaos Lord. The Chaos Lord will need to fall back. Apothecaries and Tactical Marines making their advance as this Guardian Swept team begins to get tied up melee by the Camouflage Scouts. Over here, the Guardians pushing their way forward against good damage there onto the activate point as the Chaos Lord is going to run by them.
One of our structures is being attacked.
Guardian weapons team under enemy fire.
The activated point does get decrewed. They went pretty aggressive with the power points there. It does get a nice jump there. It does get a nice Purification Rite heal as well as knocking back the Howling Banshees. Jumping in once again, knocking back the Guardians of the team, really making sure they don't get engaged in melee. That one's forced to fall back. Both of them are falling back now. And Guardians team is going to be utilizing the head cover on the wrong side of the shield generator. Now the generator goes down. These generators are just going to go down. These forces capture these points. Havoc Squad trying to engage the Tech Marine. The Tech Marine's currently not upgraded. So just the Combine Flamer for the Chaos Lord. The Apothecary plus his Purification Rites. And we do have on the floor, of course, here, Doombringer, which grants the Doom ability. Sorry, I don't know why I thought of Futurama at that moment.
Losing the requisition point to the enemy.
At this point, anything activated, but slowly being deactivated as well. Frag grenade? Nope. Full shotgun not back. I would have gone for a frag grenade. grenade was thrown on top of Guardian's weapons team, and now these guys are being focused on a bit. Plasma grenade was thrown as well. Was that the Doom ability? Yep, Doom. Farseer is now receiving quite a bit of fire right there. The Farseer is now falling back, but the Guardian weapon team is providing still constant suppression on these forces. Guardian squad is constantly hitting that Apothecary, who's gone down once, so you don't see the health bar anymore, nor the symbol. And now here comes the Ultra Shark being deployed. And those plasma grenades hit their mark. You don't see that all too often. We've got a Tactical Marine squad being deployed out as well. Flamer squad still in the mix. Chaos Assault Marines jumping on top of the forward Guardian weapon team as these Chaos Tactical Marines may be behind the engage the other one in the melee. No, we've got a Master Tree coming on out. Power Generator could be claimed by the Heretic player. Here's some more Guardian weapon teams firing. Not sure where I'm hitting it. But we've got the Chaos Lord getting burned alive while capturing the position point. And the Razorback is pushing forward. There's something low to the back. Looks like a Tactical Marine squad. Nope, it was Tech Marine. Oh, on the right side, you have the Assault Marine squad now falling on back. Howling Banshees have an upgrade of the leader, the X-Shark. And these scout squads are camouflaging around. No shotguns whatsoever. But they do have, of course, a frag grenade ability, which could be quite deadly right here. Make sure they don't use too much energy sneaking around. They do throw a frag there on the Howling Banshees, getting some good damage there. This one does run out of energy there. This one is likely not enough energy for a frag grenade as well. Offshark knocking around the Howling Banshees as well as a Tactical Marine squad. Plague Marines have been deployed on out. And he actually lost other Tactical Marine squads, so may want to upgrade this current one to a Sturmguard veteran. On the left side, we've got the Razorback skirting around the flanks. We do have a autocannon upgrade here. Very nice.
We have succeeded in our objective.
Oh, here the Chaos Records pushing the way forward, getting knocked back by the shotguns. A lot of shotguns in this area, getting some great AoE damage. Okay, the scout squads making an advance. 2 4-man scout squads. They do have enough energy for grenades, so they have to be careful not to spend too much of it running around. Razorback still charging around and getting some great damage on the Razorback with all these hits. Does jump on forward, does get spotted there by the Heretic squad, so both those shotgun squads are forced to fall back, and now utilizing global repairs to keep that Razorback alive. Those detonating one of his Plague Marine models there with, of course, some temporary bloodletters, knocking back the Howling Banshees will add it to the detonation of that Plague Marine model. Combine Flare charging forward, getting some great damage in, and now here comes the Scout Squad getting pretty good flank off. No grenades on these forces as the Plasma Gun Chaos Marines making their advance. New ability was activated on top of these Scout Squads, see quite a bit of fire there. And a Plasma Grenade was thrown but was dodged. Guardian Squad will use Fleet of Foot to get back behind the heavy cover as the Assault Marines still try to wail on the Farseer. The Apothecary is down to 1/3 of its health. And the Farseer may go down to the Assault Marines. Yes, the Assault Marines do pick up the Farseer. Over here, the Razorback still skirmishing around. Does receive a missile hit there from the Razorback as well as autocannon fire. And Chaos Shrine being deployed now. With the Chaos Shrine, of course, it will spawn temporary bloodletters as a defensive turret. Fire Dragons pushing the way forward as the Assault Marines are falling them back. Plasma Cannon Devastator whips a shot, frag grenade thrown on top of the Guardian's weapon team. Getting direct hit there on the energy shield, but the energy shield's still very much up. And Infusion and the Fire Dragon squad is getting some damage there onto the Tactical Marines. On the left side, we do have the Plague Marines and Tactical Chaos Marines pushing the way forward. He may spot these scouts right there. He does spot one of the scout models there. And now he is fully spotted there. Haters going to charge on forward, which are camouflage revealers. And here comes what the Galaxy Guard gets some good damage there. We do have the Razorback now engaging. Plasma Cannon Devastator is getting suppressed there and will be falling on back. He will escape on out of there, but barely with one model remaining. Oshtark charging on forward, getting some good hits there on the Scout squads as the Assault Marines gaining some good hits there onto the Guardian squad and the Fire Dragons. Good plasma grenade there, getting some great damage on the Assault Marines. And the Scout squads are just making a soft retreat away with the Tactical Marines. Tactical Marines being upgraded with Sergeant now. And here comes the Temporary Bloodletters. We've got 2 sets of Temporary Bloodletters. Is there a second shrine somewhere? That power generator. Look at that placement of the power generator. Jeez. Oh, there's a second shrine there.
Guardians have come afield. The reinforcements are most welcome.
Has his teammate to push because he's pushing down south. Scout squads, Storm Guard veterans are pushing the way forward. Armor piercing rounds have been loaded. It's not Daddy, it's Chaos Lord Daddy. It's more of an uncle, really. Frag grenades now thrown, getting some good damage in. Howling Base and Archrock pushing his way forward. We got the global ability being activated there. Heretics charging up forward as well. The Chaos Lord could potentially get some immolate ability there. Chaos, the Assault squad does not have melta bombs there, but you may do some body blocking there. Serious damage onto the Razorback, down to 9 health. Charging on forward, may get some melee hits there. Ties it up a little bit. And does get the kill there with Slash. Arstark is here as well, upgrade the Executioner, and the Farseer is falling back as well, fully kitted out. The Librarian here in the mix as well as the Apothecary. The Farseer, let's see now. Maroon Armor grants health, energy, and injury regen. Grants the second Storm build, which deals 6 power, melee damage, and 18 courage damage every 0.5 seconds, so there's a channel ability. And we do also have the Spirit Stones. While equipped, reviving heroes give the Farseer 85 energy as well as healing for 15% max health. Also grants spiritual rights ability, restores 50 energy and 75 health to an allied infantry in a radius. So very good medic ability. And one more geared towards team battles. We got the Melta Gun for the Tactical Marine as a Signum Armor, which grants more target ability. Oshtark does charge on forward. More power generators being deployed on out. Guardian weapon team may be tied up in melee by the Plague Marines. Scout squads pushing forward with the shotguns. Gets good knockbacks there onto the Howling Banshees. The Guardian's weapon teams receive actual knockbacks there and throws off a frag grenade to get some serious damage. The Guardian weapon team may go down here as the Fire Dragons get tied up in melee by the Assault Marines. The Guardian weapon team does not go down, it's still alive, with 3 of its model remaining. Scout squads are falling on back. The Wugway Gate has been spotted there as the plasma guns is constantly just firing away at the range. There is a garrison right there protected from melee fire. And the Fire Dragons may go down, he may force fire its melee. And the Fire Dragons do go down. That is a very valuable squad now lost.
Close combat.
kill this Dread. I see a Dread. He may have had a Dreadnought in the mix. I didn't really see the Dreadnought. Chaos Havoc charging towards the Dreadnoughts. Plague Marines engaging with this missile. The Chaos Lord trying to tie up the Dreadnought in melee as these plasma guns are charging forward, trying to stop the deployment of the Tornado Sentry Gun. Frag Grenade thrown. And these forces are charging forward. We got the Storm Guard Band as well. The Tornado Sentry Gun was cancelled there. Melta Bomb was thrown, trying to force run down the Venerable Dreadnought. And there's a ritual here as well. The missile launcher squad of the Plague Marines are not actually firing. And start hacking away against the Venerable Dreadnought. Global repairs have been activated there as well. Lost sight of the Venerable Dreadnought. Got the Galaxy Burn getting some great AoE damage there. Now he's going to be charging on the Venerable Dreadnought a bit some more. Activate a ritual to help get his forces over there. He may lose the Librarian that's in the mix. Apothecary's in the region as well. Mark Target was utilized on the Librarian, but looks like he has plenty of health on the retreat. The Apothecary may be retreating back as well. The Venerable Dreadnought is still alive, has another Melta Bomb there. And very close to death. Activates another ritual there, from hunting him down, but I don't think he's able to get it at this moment. Guardian weapon teams push their way forward with the Guardian squad in towards the northern flank of the map. There is a Storm Guard veteran on the flank. The Archshock is currently falling back. We've got a Seer Council squad right there, and there's a Psychic Storm ability for the Farseer, getting some great damage across these forces. With the Guardian weapon teams in the region as well, there's a lot of suppression coming on now, which stopped them from advancing. Seer Council may get the wipe there on the Storm Guard veteran. They do get the wipe on the Storm Guard veteran. Plasma Grenade getting a good hit there as well. The Chaos Lord is severely wounded, will be falling back now, down to the last 20 health, 11 health, 7 health, 6 health, 4 health. The Chaos Lord will escape on out of there with very, very little health remaining. And the Plague Marines are not being tied up in melee by the Farseer, as we got the Mark Doom ability being utilized by the Chaos Dreadnought, who has been upgraded with the Power Claw, the Marker Corn. And we've got the autocannon now set on up as well. Chaos Dreadnought trying to charge it forward. The Venerable Dreadnought still severely wounded. We've got no Melta Bomb there. It decides to charge away, trying to avoid. And I think it just kills his own scout right there. I think he may have wiped out his own scout squad with that charge. Chaos Dreadnought blitzing on forward, trying to charge down the Tech Marine. Tech Marine does body block the... or the Predator does body block the Tech Marine for a moment. Of course, they need repairs, not a ritual to heal up. Good missile hit there onto the Predator, gets the rear armor, upgrade to the las cannon. On the right side, I got the Scout Squad captured the point, as well as the Scout Squad coming to support the Scout Squad. And here's a Webway gate. Does jump on top of that Scout Squad, but it was actually the other Scout Squad. Getting a good knockback there. Another Dreadnought being deployed.
We have 100 points remaining.
And more Chaos, or not Chaos Marines, Tactical Marines being deployed now. The Fire Prism has been deployed on out as well. The Apothecary may want to deploy out some Terminators. This is the amount of vehicles they're fighting against. And a bit more resilient versus Fire Prism. The last cannon is not really a huge threat to them anymore. Looks like it's actually eyeing for a Predator of his own. get T-Dread? Zinch Dread, probably. We'll need to fall back to the Scout's field soon. Sending a little bit too much fire there. Nice little health there as well.
Rise to the challenge.
The heretics are receiving some fire there. Does have a ritual going on. Got 2 Mark of Horn Dreads. The Predator is still a bit far away. Plague Marines are charging forward, but they will not be successful. The Scout Squad are eyeing for shotgun. He is nowhere near ready. He's waiting for our Predator of his own. And there's still actually a webway gate over here, which could be very important. Gets a good hit there. We'll need to fall back. Can't afford to lose any power because it needs the power for the Predator, which he does. But need to get perhaps a last cannon as well. He said he wants a last cannon. Something's being called on there. I'm not sure what. Oh wait, there's a D cannon.
The fire of the heavens is at your command.
There must be a D cannon somewhere. Maybe not. Maybe I'm mistaken. Yeah, there's a D cannon right there.
As it was fated.
Looks like they're trying to set up a position. They're perhaps going to go for one all in, but the fire presence of range is being very problematic. Perhaps maybe use these temporary bloodletters to absorb some shots. There's a Predator here, being upgraded the last cannon Predator, and I think it has been spotted by the Scout Squad.
Let the flame of Asuryan bless our fast here in battle.
And the assault begins. Got scouts down here as well. They need a couple frags here. Big charge now coming on in. Got the right lance here. Alaskan Devastator pushes his way forward. Of course, got the Venerable Dreadnought and the Fire Prism here. This Chaos Dreadnought's troops charging up forward. This Predator has received quite a bit of fire there, being paired up by the Scouts now. Vanguard Barons jump on top of the D-Lance, the D-Cannon. This Chaos Predator Dreadnought does go down. The Predator does go down as well. The Fire Prison has very little health remaining. The Predator has plenty of health remaining, but getting slashed a bit by the Dreadnought. Fire Prison does go down. The Gold Warbears have been activated for the Tactical Marine, allowing the Venerable Dreadnought to get health regen as well. Chaos Marines are trying to tie up the Tactical Marines up in melee as well. And it looks like the Chaos Dreadnought is going to go down. No capture over here. Let's see, drop down a drop pod mix of it. Predator Dreadnought does go down. Temporary Bloodletters in the mix as well. Forced retreat back. Both of the Tactical Marines. Chaos Lord is charging forward, trying to engage these forces. Now it's an infantry fight. The last can Devastator Predator won't do much, but the Venerable Dreadnought's still in the mix. Nobody has any red points remaining, so there's no nuke available. The tickets are very, very even, but they're in favor of blue, and the VP's in favor of blue. Oh, thank you for the follow, Vol Hero. I see you're in the game as well. The Scout Squads are falling on back. Predator tanks making advance, but we clean up some of these shrines. The temporary bloodletters are not going to accomplish all too much. Looks like they're going to concede at this one time. They don't have a whole lot remaining, not a whole lot of force. Potentially can bring out a Great Unclean One or a Land Raider Phobos, but that's about it. getting a pretty good hit there on the scout squads. The Vanguard banners are falling on back. The Seer Council pushes his way forward. The Apothecary has him fully kitted out. Customized Storm Bolter, gets full ability with a stun ability, and Armor Purity, just healed by 35%, and increases the health and health regen of the Apothecary itself. Also, Land Raider Phobos wouldn't be half bad, but he goes for some Plague Marines. But at this point in time, both sides are only dogpiling the VP. It's a VP game at the moment, but this double capture against the red team doesn't look all good for them. Probably not enough time to get out Land Raider Phobos. Plague Marines push his way forward, hitting the last cannon Devastator, but it's getting repaired up by the Scout Squad. Tactical Marines trying to help the Plague Marines with melee. Chaos Marines are falling on back as well, that's severely wounded. And that is the end of the game. This is Andgrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. I could probably get one more replay in. Getting a little bit exhausted. But I have a little bit of a second wind, to say the least. I haven't had a whole lot of sleep lately. Let's see, it was this one right here. Whoops. Let's go for one more 2v2. Yeah, let's go with this one. Oops, I hit my microphone again. Greetings everyone, Andgrade here with another Dawn of War 2 replay. Spawn on the south side as the Smurfs. We have a foreign name. Spawn as the Apothecary, we have a foreign name. Spawning as the Red Apothecary, we have Dark Riku, and the biggest and the strongest, Big Matthias. Tactical Marine Squad, got Shooters and Shooters, pretty standard. Tactical Marine, pretty standard. So we got Mutant Smurfs, regular Smurfs, versus not Smurfs.
An ally has secured a power node.
We do have another Scout Squad being deployed out by the Force Commander. Nothing being deployed out by the Apothecary just yet. He may be eyeing for double Tactical Marines, or could be saving up for Assault Marines or Devastators. Over here, we do have the Scout Squad and the Tactical Marines and the Apothecary, just the entire force, just pushes its way forward.
Unleash all fury upon them.
The Force Commander could be ready to push his way forward. Tactical Marines making their advance up north, Scouts making their advance from the light cover high ground, as the Tactical Marines are now getting tied up in melee, as the Apothecary is stuck capturing the VP. The Apothecary may need to heal himself. It does heal himself right there. And now we've got the Apothecary and the Force Commander chasing down these Tactical Marines. We've got the shotgun upgrade there. Good knockback there onto the Force Commander, but it does get the knockback there on the Apothecary. Only suppression. This one will be captured on up. These forces are now falling back away from the heroes. Over here, we've got the Shooters and the War Boss making their advance. No armor just yet. It's not coming to see spiky armor for the extra health and health regen for the War Boss.
Adding power generator.
Scout Squad's making their advance. We've got these two Shooters in the region. This Scout Squad does have the Sergeant upgrade, so now it can throw out some frag grenades. Both one of these squads have those frag grenade ability as well. Sluggers could charge on forward to type the Apothecary up in melee as the War Boss pushes on forward, but looks like he's force on back. Shotguns and Sergeant on that Tactical Scout Squad as Tactical Marines come in support as well. Second Tactical Marine Squad for both the Apothecary players. Does get a nice knockback there with the Scout Squad. A little bit outgunned there. Apothecary charging forward does heal up the Scout, not himself. As Force Commander is charging forward as well, gets a nice knockback there. The Scouts could get a shotgun blast off and knock back the Force Commander. Looks like they don't get one off there.
An ally has secured a power node.
The chapter calls and we answer. Ready to serve, brother.
We do have some Storm Boys now deployed on out, ready to jump on in. Devastator Marines been deployed out by the Force Commander.
Make ready. They have us targeted.
And now we have the Tactical Marines now making their advance. Storm Boys charging on forward. Of course, they don't have any knockback effects until they get the knob, and that's just a stun. So jumping behind them is not necessarily half bad. Does tie up, get some great damage on the Tactical Marine Squad. Tactical Marine Squad falling back, didn't get the heal off the Apothecary in time. Storm Boys charging forward as well, trying to get the wipe there on the Tactical Marine Squad. Does get the wipe on the Tactical Marine Squad. And now the Force Commander's falling on back.
Allies' forces are under attack.
Tactical Marines pushing the way forward. We have the Assault Squad now being deployed. And those do get knocked back by the shotguns. Not sure what that was. Devastator deployed out on the high ground. Scout squads both upgraded this with the Sergeant. One has shotguns. And it's getting some good damage there now. Got a mass capturing up by the red team. On the left side, you have the War Boss falling back, trying to avoid the Tactical Marines as these sluggers are captured the requisition point. We've got some Assault Marines ready to engage the Devastator, trying to close the distance. He gets a nice knockback there on Devastators as these forces start making their way forward. And he's trying to tie up the Devastator up in melee. The Apothecary could get a heal off on the Assault Marines there, but great frag grenade there. He needs to get a heal off on that Assault Marine squad. Even though there's a model missing, he needs that help. Jumps forward once again, forces back the Devastator with a full retreat. The Assault Marines are going to fall back with full retreat as well.
Acquisition point under control.
On the left side, we got the shooters making their advance. You may see the sluggers, or Storm Boys, jumping on top of these forces. And we've got the War Boss. No upgrades on the War Boss just yet. Force Commander does get knocked back there as the Devastator has been set up, keeping them at bay. Apothecary is captured at the point, but does decide to abandon the capture. Up here, we've got the shooters now advanced as well, getting some good damage. And the War Boss is charging in as well, but got a lot of damage on these forces, including the Devastator and the Scouts.
Scouts ready. Ready to serve. A fine welcome for us, brothers. Return.
Tactical Marines are captured their requisition point as these forces are making their advance as well.
Scouts here.
Devastator set on up in a good position. Where is the Assault Marines? They're right here, so they can jump on top of them. Shooters still very much healthy. In fact, that one still, even though it's a little bit, quite a bit wounded, it's actually has all of its models still. Frag grenade was thrown as Scout Squad's making soft retreat away. Devastator still could have a problem. He needs to wait for Storm Boys to come back up. On the right side, we do have the Assault Marine down to 2 members there. Does get a nice knockback there. There's the other model getting more knockbacks. That delayed assault was actually can be pretty good for crowd control, but he had too little health to really capitalize on it. That frag grenade is going to be great. That scout squad does get fully wiped thanks to that frag grenade. And it looks like the Apothecary player over here has lost a Tactical Marine squad. Something dropped on in there. Maybe a drop pod for Tactical Marines. Apothecary himself may go down, and the Apothecary does go down there. Devastators are just out of range via any support as well. Forcing back those fresh Tactical Marines. On the right side,
Scouts ready.
Blue has managed to start reclaiming some of these points.
Support structure complete.
And the Apothecary is pushing his way forward. We do have a Sanguinine Chainsword, which of course allows some good health on hit, both on range and melee. Tactical Marines and Scouts make their way forward. The Assault Marines are to jump on top of the Devastators as they appear. The generator does go down. And Assault Marines do, or not Assault Marines, Stormboys do jump on the high ground, forcing back the Devastators. They do have a bad retreat path, but they shouldn't take a whole lot of damage. There's no scouts with the grenades in the retreat. Devastator sitting on up. He does have to be worried about the stealth scout squads to go forward with a shotgun blast, grenade blast, or just punch him in the face.
Weapon loadouts.
Devastators and shooters both behind heavy cover, but the shooters do get suppressed there.
Make it so.
Assault Marines are falling on back, sustaining a bit too much damage there thanks to the shotgun blast of the scout squad. Force Commander is currently not upgraded. This Apothecary, of course, has Extinguished Chainsword. This Apothecary has the Purification rights because of knockback heals. And the War Boss is being upgraded with the Power Claw. Does throw a frag grenade on the before he retreats on back, but won't get any damage off. And the Apothecary is sustaining very, very good healing there. But sustaining too much damage on the retreat, he may need to get some armor to increase his own health to make it a bit more durable. Scout squad here, seeing quite a bit of fire. And a generator does go down. Last Cannon Devastator setting on up. And does throw a frag grenade there on top of the last Cannon Devastator, getting some good damage in there, but the Apothecary could heal him up. And we've got some plasma guns on the Tactical Marines now. One generator does go down. And Stone Boys jump on in and retreat on back again. We've got a Plasma Cannon Devastator set up, being deployed on up right here. Best focus down the Scout Squad. Fires. Again, annihilates that Assault Marine. Won't be able to get another shot off. Does throw up a grenade there. Blows himself up. But may get the wipe there on the Devastator down to 17 health. 15 health, 12 health. But no, the Devastators will, Plasma Cannon Devastator will fall back in time. Smoke round was utilized. Devastators setting on up will get tied up in melee by the Apothecary, and a lot of free health there, but good knockback there by the Force Commander. But the missile launchers, the two quickly spawned missile launchers, takes out the Razorback, and now we'll be doing some gen bashing. On the north side, we've got the Devastators capturing the point, as these forces are going to ignore the Devastator.
Force Commander has reached level 2.
The Apothecary has gone down.
Bring forth the chapter standard. The enemy is capturing one of our strategic. Beware. The enemy has breached our last landing zone.
Looks like he immediately respawned out his apothecary, which he will have sustained the maximum near maximum penalty for that. He does have plasma guns on both these Tactical Marine squads, and now they have both of them have sergeants out. This generator will likely go down relatively shortly, as this scout squad is just picking away some damage. It looks like they're just meant for capturing a cheap capture squad and for repairs later on. Power node is under quite a bit of fire right now.
Gripping power fist.
And the War Boss have been upgraded with the spiky armor now, giving him health and health regen, as well as some melee damage retaliation. Nothing really important against in these fights. It's mostly good against like heretics and harmagants. But the extra health and health regen is actually quite nice, because 2.5 health regen is actually quite significant, especially on something heavy as the War Boss. Force Commander has sustained quite a bit of fire there. Plasma Cannon Devastator gets a direct hit there on the Weird Boy. The Weird Boy is now falling on back. Great frag grenade there on the shooters, but the Assault Marines now, however, charging on in. And the Storm Boys now charging in themselves, tying up the Devastator up in melee. The Tactical Marine squad's falling back as well. The Orc forces are getting a little bit wounded. The Apothecary does go down, and now got the charge coming in, has the Angry Bits that gives him now an angry ability, that explosive charge ability.
Secure the power node.
Another power generator does go down as a scout squad fall back. A lot of anti-vehicle weapons by the Red Apothecary, with the Plasma Cannon and 2 missile launchers, a little bit too much probably. Gain some good damage there. And now we've got the War Boss charging forward, trying to top these forces up in melee. The Weird Boy does get a nice knockback there out of heavy cover, so the troops can get some great damage in. And the War Boss is actually fully falling back for some odd reason. Apothecary does heal himself right there, has an upgrade though, both the customized Stormbolter gives him a stun ability. Apothecary is falling down, so I couldn't have time to read the other build, item what it was. Force Commander is also falling back. Stormboy charging forward. May see another hero going down. Down to 1 health. The Force Commander managed to live with 1 health remaining. Oh, no, that's not a Razorback, that's a Whirlwind. Gains some great AoE damage right there. It provides consistent long-range artillery barrages. Blue doesn't have a whole lot of VPs remaining, but they do have a capture right now. Devastator's getting some good suppression there, but do get interrupted by the Assault Squad. But yeah, the Tactical Marines now push his way forward, including the Plasma Cannon Devastator. Central VP is being captured up by Blue, while the Northern VP is being captured up by the War Boss, but now being abandoned by the War Boss. The Angry Bits was not exactly very successful. Storm Boys on the low ground could finish jump up high. They have plenty of energy. Devastator does get spotted. Frag Grenade could be pretty successful. No, he does dodge it in time. This may be a good time for a suicide. Great hit there with the Weird Boy. And more knockbacks there. And here comes the Storm Boys getting some great suppression there. Does take out the Apothecary with that suicide there. Very nice.
The enemy is capturing one of our victory points.
The last Cannon Devastator will not be able to do much versus Force Commander. Here comes a Whirlwind. We've got Plasma Cannon Devastator here for artillery, so we've got medium artillery and more heavy artillery. The Whirlwind's actually severely wounded. He needs to get a Scout Squad to repair it up. Here comes the Scout Squad. He needs to repair that up. It's way too wounded. Wait, is the Whirlwind can fire close range or armor-piercing rounds? Plasma Cannon Devastator, of course, getting knocked down, getting hit by a pair of missiles, the Whirlwind, but look, Melter Bomb also there as well. The Melter Bomb does take out the Whirlwind. Ooh, zap damage seemed like. Tactical Marines are tying up the Plasma Cannon Devastator. There's 2 Plasma Cannon Devastators currently deployed on out. Not enough, I guess, front line. Too much back line with the 2 Plasma Cannons in the Whirlwind. The War Boss has reached Tier 3, and he's pretty close to getting out a... He could get out a looted tank, but I think he's going for Daisy. Apothecary and the Tactical Marine Squad is now falling back. We do have the forces trying to pursue it, but the Apothecary has still plenty of health, so it's not going to go down. We do have some flash kits out in the field as well. And they are being upgraded to Git Finders.
An ally has secured a requisition point.
And now they're being upgraded with the Blastas. So has plenty of resources. He could go for the Battle Wagon. Over here we've got the Scout Squad pushing their way forward, trying to capture up the VP. Still have the Weird Boy as well, so and going for more flash kits, so it looks like going for a bit more heavy range composition. Over here, the Scout Squad falling on back.
The enemy is capturing one of our victory points.
Does throw out a frag grenade there. The Tactical Marine Squad does fall back. Overall, with the amount of anti-vehicle damage they have, it's just not very useful. Those was the last Cannon Devastator. And they do have also 2 Dreadnoughts now deployed on out. So most of the anti-vehicle damage would be useful. Storm Boys now falling back. Weird Boys making a soft retreat. We got the Flash gets able to push on force, so can the War Boss. The War Boss has the anti-vehicle melee. Weird Boys are now fully falling back, and now the Flash gets now firing. Of course, they knock themselves back upon firing. They didn't appear to do a whole lot of damage to that Dreadnought, honestly. Dreadnoughts now receiving a bit of fire there by the missile launchers. Getting some good damage in. Good, consistent damage with the 2 missile launchers. But we have the Flash gets annihilating that Plasma Cannon Devastator. And the Plasma Cannon Devastator fully goes down to the Flash gets. Dreadnought is engaging the Dreadnought. I like that the Dreadnought will win that fight. I'm sort of surprised, but this one's actually went out. It seems like the Flash gets should be able to support him. Ooh, good AoE damage there, but that's a lot of health regen there. Oh, Weird Boy nails his own Storm Boys right there. Storm Boys could jump onto this group, trying to suppress and stun them. It does get a nice little stun there. Flash gets pushing his way forward, and we do have the War Boss knocking back the Force Commander, who does not have a whole lot of VPs remaining since it's a VP game. So are knocking them down a bit. That is actually very important. We do have a Melter Bomb onto the Dreadnought there for blue. And they do manage to decapture the central VP. Force Commander is severely wounded, but the War Boss gets chain knocked back. The Dreadnought being deployed out by the Apothecary, Blue's Apothecary. And now we have a looted tank being deployed out. And the power mode does go down as the Flash gets a gain some damage onto the Dreadnought. Great knockback there by the Weird Boy, which will allow the Flash gets past to get the wipe. No, they did not. Soul Cannon has been deployed out by this Dreadnought here. And looks like an iron to decapture this point. Capturing up this point will put the pressure on blue, and if red can push the central VP, putting pressure on both of them will very harm blue team. And here comes Rocks on top of the 3 Dreadnoughts. Again, direct hit there on one of the Dreadnoughts, and this other Dreadnought here is getting severely with the Venerable. That's not a Venerable Dreadnought, never mind. Flash gets a falling back. These forces could perhaps stay. The Stormboy does have an anti-vehicle melee weapon, the Knob Leader. Apothecary charging forward, but does get stunned by the full auto ability. Force Commander try to go for an attack there. Stormboy's charging on forward, tying up the Devastator up in melee. Flash gets a charge on forward as the Sluggers could eye for the VP itself. Missile launchers hitting the Dreadnought. Over here, we do have the Stormboys now falling him back. The looting tank should be out, but no, I think saving up his resources perhaps for Daisy. I'm not sure actually what saving up his resources for. I don't think it's enough population room for Daisy. We do got some commando knobs or commando squad being deployed on now.
Understood.
Oh, something being deployed on out right there. Looks like got some more tactical marines. The Force Commander, it did lose his Dreadnought, so it's just down to Devastators and the tactical marine squads and his Plasma Cannon Devastators. So the Force Commander doesn't really have a whole lot left on the field. The War Boss now falling back, seeing quite a bit of fire there. Right now, the red team needs out some long-range firepower. So Assault Barrage coming forward, but he does outright miss. The other one's going for a close-range barrage and does get interrupted there because he's really wounded. The Stormboys are charging forward, forcing back the Scout Squad. Stormboys are now falling him back. The Tactical Marine Squads could eye for capture the points. Something should capture up that point immediately. Perhaps the Commando Squad. Scout Squad is maybe good as well. Those missile launchers kind of stand him not using them because he needs some fire. Weird Boy does not connect that shot to take out that Dreadnought. And there we go, one missile hit there, taking out one of the Dreadnoughts. The other Dreadnoughts now receiving a lot of fire. Central VP is going to be captured up. There's actually double captured because the southern point was actually captured up, so that's going to be game. And that is the end of the replay as I do my outro over here. This I'm Greg saying thank you for watching and have a good night. And that's going to be my last replay recording tonight. I'm a bit tired. Everyone, thank you for watching.